Okay, so killer whales are intelligent, they're large, and they hunt in packs. That is a deadly combination.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Netflix Explorers podcast, the podcast where we punch our way into these movies so you don't have to. From the Northside 1890 Studios, my name is Dale.
Forest fires are a big concern in this part, so if we hear a forest fire coming, we'll give you an ample warning and ample time to get out. Everybody get out! Fire! Fire! I'm Adam.
Hey, my name's Patrick, and I'm ready to cast.
My name's Rob, and all I need is and some carrot cake. My name's Daniel. We eat hope.
Today we're going over Long Shot, The Imposters, and Stranger Things. Please stick around. Hello! Guys, you made it back into the 1890 North Shore Studios once again. It's great to have you. Daniel and Rob, welcome back.
Good to be back. It's been a long week.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, wow.
The live feed is not, the studio audience is not feeling your guys' presence.
But it's been a long week. We've watched a lot of movies. Do you guys, Rob, you have the name that, it's kind of, you like brought this on. If you don't watch the movie but you're here to talk about it, you called you robbing the film.
Yeah.
Did you do that this week?
No.
You did not do your namesake.
I'm trying to rebrand myself.
Okay.
It's a new
respect
week,
that.
new me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take credit for that. We both came from downtown Chicago to
Right.
appear on the cast, and I kept him in check. I was like,
Good.
let's binge watch before we head over there.
You made sure you.
So you pulled a Daniel on all these movies.
yeah.
yeah.
Let's coin a new phrase.
Let's put it
Yeah.
on our
It'll be in the glossary.
a glossary,
See how
which
I
is
just-
on our website. We're 1890studios.com. On the glossary, if you Daniel a film, you force yourself amongst like other situations, and you pick the movie over like the outside.
And if you
situations.
Adam someone, you completely destroy the rebranding by passing it off onto somebody else.
right,
So
okay, put that down. Make sure that's in there. Guys, first one up is a 2017 film. It's a Long Shot, 40 minutes long. Patrick.
I got a new wheelhouse after I watched this one.
once I put this on the docket, I was like, there you go, Patrick. What do you think about those apples?
Man,
So all those.
good apples.
What'd you think about the apples?
Them apples.
The apples were crisp, yet firm.
Yeah, damn right. Let's go.
We'll go Honey Crisp.
All right, let's go ahead and roll the trailer for Long Shot. 7.5 IMDb.
Apple Jacks.
I love baseball. I can't say that enough. Every time I'm there, I soak it all in. But I wasn't supposed to be at that game.
Official selection, Telluride Film Festival
It
2017.
was like any other day, but as soon as I opened the door, I was completely surrounded, like SWAT style.
Juan Catalan was
My
arrested
daughter,
for murder.
She looks up and she says, "Dad." I told him.
That he did not commit.
I asked him, "Do you remember where you were?" I was at the Dodgers game. I gotta find the holy grail of Juan's defense. I need to place my client at Dodger Stadium on that night.
A Netflix
Now, I
original
remember they may have been
documentary
filming
film.
something there that day.
The episode was that I picked up a hooker in the carpool lane and took her to Dodger Stadium.
An enormous fight. The prosecutor they assigned to the case had never lost. She liked to pick off people with the death penalty.
The tapes.
I looked
The
at the
sniper.
We shot in 2 sections in Dodger Stadium.
There's
Hold the
56,000 people at this
truth.
game. How could you possibly
This guy with the mustache I did
wasn't
not
supposed
like.
to be at that game.
He had a little too much
In my
sass.
head
He did.
over and over. I looked for eyewitnesses and the tickets. I could not afford to miss anything. The kids wanted to know when I was coming home, and I didn't have an answer.
Long Shot.
That is a great. That whistle at the end is fantastic.
I thought that was you.
No,
Yeah.
well, I wish it was me, but it's not.
Dale's also a very good whistler.
Patrick, what is the history behind that whistle we just heard at the end of that trailer?
Well, that's from the great show Curb Your Enthusiasm, airing Sundays at 8 Central on HBO.
I don't know.
Are they a
Whistles go woo.
sponsor?
Yeah, they're a sponsor.
okay.
Thank you.
It's,
Yeah.
I met with Larry the other day. Great guy.
Not
When
a fan of podcasts, but I'll support you guys. That's what he said.
When
Verbatim.
when Juan Catalan is arrested for murder, he insists he didn't commit. He builds his case for innocence around raw footage from a popular TV show, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Very, very, very cool film. I thought this, just being as short as it was and as different as it was, I thought this one was super cool. Daniel, what do you think about this one, man? Long shot.
I liked it.
Yeah.
As you said, the fact that it lumped in, a recognizable face in Larry David and a recognizable show in Curb Your Enthusiasm. And then also just the way they described how the defense went about their case with the lawyer, the interview with the lawyer, and just, how diligent he was in like finding an angle, and, how they found potential evidence for the defendant, but then they had to go back and get more, so they contacted the show, and just the burden of proof that was put on them from the start, and just the stakes of reversing a murder charge kind of kept you hooked the whole time.
Yeah, it's crazy to link both like a terrible, like a murder charge placed on a family man, wrongfully accused, but then on the flip side, you're bringing in, to prove this terrible murder wrong, you're bringing a hilarious television show from Larry David, who's, a master of comedy, like to try to get, use that evidence to try to get him out of murder. It sounds like a Seinfeld episode, really. You know what I mean? It
sounds like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
That's probably more like it.
It made me want to watch Curb Your Enthusiasm because I haven't actually watched that show, and I'm like, this Larry David guy, he's funny.
Dude,
I used to
it's
watch
good.
Seinfeld.
I would like to say it's a dirty Seinfeld.
It's so much better than Seinfeld.
It's like
wow.
it's like a cross between Seinfeld and The Office, I'd say.
Okay.
I'd say Seinfeld.
It's like
Always
Seinfeld
Sunny.
with a little more awkward humor.
I'll put it on the list, man. That sounds good.
Put it on your own personal docket.
Yeah, it's not on the cast docket as far as I know.
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's not on Netflix yet.
We're gonna get you back once it is on Netflix.
Once we start the HBO Explorers.
Adam,
Once we have it in the budget.
Long Shot 2017. What do you think about this one?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed because you see Larry David in the trailer, and that's kind of what hooked me. And I was like, dude, Larry, they got Curb Your Enthusiasm footage to get a guy off for murder. I want to check this out. So, but really, when you watch it, you realize that is a very small part of the whole whole story. So I thought, I think the Curb Your Enthusiasm part was really cool, but it was just kind of the part that drew you in.
I think they pitched it because they knew it would draw viewers.
Right.
But the actual story.
Baseball reference.
Nice.
Sorry.
Yes. Unintentional baseball reference.
We
But
just got
yeah.
a new horn. I'm trying to figure out when to use it, and that was not a good time.
No, I think you're right that they did draw in viewers because I was like, whoa, what does this have to do with Curb Your Enthusiasm? Because I've heard of it even though I haven't watched it.
Sure. Well, and Larry
yeah.
David's got a pass. Sure.
Yeah, but obviously there's a lot more to the story, and the story itself is also very interesting with his family members brought into the fold and everything like that.
Right.
But that was just kind of icing on the cake where they, in the synopsis and everything else, they made it seem like that was central to the actual narrative. It was, but it wasn't. I mean,
it was the piece of evidence that almost exonerated him.
Almost.
It wasn't the.
What was a bigger piece of evidence than him being, spoiler alert, on film at Dodger Stadium?
Well,
okay.
They needed to prove the time frame.
Yeah, well, I don't want to give it away, but there was that in itself wasn't enough to prove his innocence.
Right. They had to do more.
Yeah, they did a little bit of math with a time code on the film, and he could have gone and completed that murder. Now, Rob, you watched this one. Are you a Larry David, like a Seinfeld or a Curb fan, or no?
I love Seinfeld. Never watched Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay. That's the same with me. Once it got on HBO and it wasn't always at 6:30 on Fox, you didn't watch it.
All right, I got HBO. Let's watch an episode after this.
Oh,
let's watch this episode.
We could.
I'll put it
Oh
on
yeah.
That'd be fun.
But now, okay,
it's a really funny episode too because he has to pick up. He hates driving in traffic, so he wants to drive in the carpool lane. So he picks up a hooker just so he can drive in the carpool lane to Dodger Stadium. Really good stuff.
Since this is a documentary, can I blow this one or no? Can we not do that?
I wouldn't give away the end.
No, yeah.
I think it's pretty widely known that what happened in this documentary it's kind of like before I watched Curb, I knew Curb got somebody off of a murder.
Talk about everything until the last 20 minutes.
Okay.
So the first
well,
oh yeah, shit.
It's a 40-minute
everything
film.
until the last 6 minutes.
Well, I mean, Okay, then I won't tell how it ended, but here's something that bothered me. The judge in this case. Now, Patrick, you mentioned just a second ago that the Curb Your Enthusiasm footage did not get this guy off, this Juan Catalan off. Mm-hmm. It did come down to the judge. The footage did not purely get him off. Now, here's how the judge decided. Well, I already said get him off, but
that could be taken one of two ways.
Indeed. Zing pow.
That's what he said.
But the judge said, I listened to this case, I listened to this guy, I let my kids watch the footage of this defendant.
No, this wasn't. This was to see if it would go to trial. This wasn't the trial. It was to go to a trial by jury. So
I see. Okay,
we just say Larry David saved the taxpayer dollars.
I do agree that was a crazy tactic. It's like, children, watch this. Do you think this guy is lying?
Tell me what you think, children, what you think this means, and then I'll make a decision on my child.
Basically, it's like, do you trust this guy? Like, look at this confession. What do you think? 9-year-old.
So that was.
What are your instincts on this guy?
If it's a documentary,
which is a little
not,
different tactic.
It's not really it's not a plot hole, but it is like an interesting way. Yeah, it is California, so I guess they hand footage off in a criminal case to their children to watch. Hey, man.
I thought that was weird too. I was like, the judge just like totally made a character decision on her own.
But as far let's take a big step back. Like let's look at the whole movie. It was beautifully done. I love the interview scenes, both from the accused and his lawyer, were shot in a great, tight, well lit, headshot of it made it. The people were crying. They were really, I don't know. They were really. Yeah, it was the emotion was brought up with
very
those kind
up close shots of people's face,
right?
Lost-ish, almost
lost-ish. So like when you get up, like it's like you're in someone's personal space. Like he's a close talker. You're basically close talking this whole show.
Sure,
but no, I thought it was really well done. You really like his lawyer. His
the dude's dedicated.
The guy accused his lawyer.
No.
He worked so hard. You don't like this guy?
I've got a lot of problems.
All right, no, Rob. Okay, you got some problems.
Kick over to Rob. He's got problems.
I got problems.
99.
Let's talk about
99 problems.
Lawyer, right?
Most of them are about this film. All right, first problem. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Correct.
I don't think this guy had that.
Yeah, that
shot
was trash.
In this
That was trash.
Like,
that was my first note, actually. Burden of proof on defendant based on audio from police interview.
Clutch.
Very
Thanks.
first note.
We're on the same page. We did not watch this together.
Okay.
Did
you compare notes?
No.
No, we did not.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Say that again. The burden of.
As soon as I turned on this documentary, I just jotted down, because this is the first thing I watched, so I was all fired up to be on your podcast. Thanks for inviting me.
You're always welcome.
So first thing I jot down, burden of proof on defendant based on the audio from the police interview, which is like the first thing they did.
Yeah.
So like right away he was already kind of at a disadvantage.
Yeah. So you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Sure.
I don't think this guy had that chance in this trial.
I don't think so either.
He walked in the trailer, we see the prosecutor's like, no, I'm known for getting people the death penalty. I'm going to get this guy the death penalty too. So he didn't have a fair shot to begin with.
It was definitely the cards were stacked against him.
And I feel like my problem is like, I feel like this lawyer, he had so much evidence to get this guy off. Even without the whole Larry David angle of the story, like this guy should have been cleared from the very beginning.
Right.
Well, I didn't feel like he was the best lawyer ever. It was like, dude, you have so much evidence.
Don't choke.
Dropped in your lap.
Right.
Yeah, you're up against a hill because this girl is gonna
the prosecutor was like ruthless.
She's got 90 death penalties in a row.
You were talking about the prosecutor, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, the only evidence they really had on him was that they had a eyewitness that told the police sketch artist what they saw.
Yeah.
And they said, look, he looks just like the sketch.
Right.
That was pretty much their whole case.
And they sort of placed him in the area, or they thought they placed him in the area.
He could have, on paper, he was in the same city during that time.
Yeah.
Although, 25 minutes earlier, he was watching a Dodgers game on film.
With his daughter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, two friends.
Buying her ice cream and all that good stuff.
But the problem is one of the guys that he took to the game lived, what was it, a block or two away
Yes,
from
Yeah,
the murder
right.
site.
They-
So that's how they placed them there.
They could have
'cause-
driven back. But, okay, again, let's take one big step back. Let's look at this as one big film. 40 minutes long. It was cut to the chase. I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm 30 years old now. Well, I have been for a week.
Yes.
I'm going to bear it all. I was bawling my eyes out when I, in my mind, knew this guy was, knew this guy was innocent. And I saw him on the way he was in, where they shot this Curb Your Enthusiasm, in the same, I guess, aisle of this
same section.
The same section. He was, the PA said, go ahead, walk through it. It'll look natural. Go ahead. And he cut right in front of Larry David, and he helped his daughter into the row, and they sat down right before Larry David came up. I don't know what it was. It was like all the things coming together.
That was beautifully done.
Yeah,
And
how
I
many
went-
aisles
Oh,
are there,
of-
and how? Yeah,
there was-
and how
there
many
was-
dudes would let you through at that
how many
exact
people
moment?
were in? They stated how many people were in the stadium. It was
No
a,
spoiler alerts.
26,000.
well, spoiler. I mean,
That's how this. No, that's how they started. That's how the first audio you hear in this movie is, and here's Dodger Stadium, attendance 46,286, and we're playing the Atlanta Braves. Like they set it up from the beginning.
Right.
Like
Of all
what are the chances of all the aisles in the stadium,
all the
of all the
sections,
people,
yeah.
you get a shot of him. Like,
and he cuts in front of the camera because the PA goes, "You had to look natural if
Yeah.
you just go down with your daughter."
The PA was even like, I probably should have got fired for letting
Right,
him,
for getting in front of the camera.
He was like, yeah, I didn't really care
And-
about that job. I just let this dude walk
Right.
in front of Larry David.
And
Whoops.
so you go the guy who was accused goes back on film. He's like, for some reason, I was able to go on film in front of Larry David while they were shooting from 3 different cameras. And I was going like, oh my goodness. Like, it just came over me, dude. It was great.
This movie, 2017 film, but this happened probably early 2000s, mid 2000s.
When was the actual case? Do we know?
I think it was like 2004, 2005. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know the exact date,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was around
October
that.
8th.
It was around that time. So I feel like how they made this movie was Larry David's been telling this story to people at
Right.
parties for
let's
10 years.
eventually do a documentary.
Yeah, and then someone goes, "Wait, that really happened?" I'm like, yeah, dude, I can make a documentary on that.
I got 40,
40 minutes.
40 minutes. All the footage is pretty much shot because you shot it for Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'll do a few interviews.
And I got Larry David. That's how I get the hook.
Right.
And it's a great story about criminal justice. It's a great story about this guy who was.
What are the chances?
What are the guy? What are
Yeah.
the chances?
It's a great tale.
This guy facing the death penalty. When he was
Against all odds.
against all odds.
Larry David.
Against all
you mean it was a long shot? He got off.
Oh, that's the titular line, folks. That's how a pro podcaster does it.
So after I watched this documentary, I had a Larry David moment.
Okay.
And I was going to my office downtown, and there's an elevator, right? And
yeah,
so-
I've seen those before. Go on.
yes. So
recognize what that
so the woman, she's like 20 feet in front of me. She walks into the elevator.
It's Larry David.
How big is this elevator?
No. She's like, but she walks in the elevator. It's a normal size elevator. She walks in.
We
and-
talking freight elevator or just
No,
elevator?
normal personnel.
Okay.
And so she goes in, and she's on her phone. She just sits in the corner of the elevator, and she's on her phone. And I'm hustling to the elevator, like, hey, like I'm going to the elevator. I'm going to the elevator.
Yeah.
I know she knows I'm hustling.
You're going
this
for
elevator.
it, yeah.
She does nothing to help stop it or hold it. And then the doors close, like when I'm 2 feet away from it, and she goes up, and I was like, I know what you did. You pretended I wasn't there, but you knew I was there. Like, that just felt like very curbed. Yeah, like I want to confront her later and be like, I know what you did. You faked like you didn't see me, but you really saw me. And I do that all the time too. I'm not gonna lie. Like in the elevator, like I get in and no one gets in, and I hit my floor
And that's-
unimpeded. I get up and I dance and I flick off the door like, yeah. Like, there we
And
go.
that's why Larry David has the money he's got, because he's got those stories that everybody's been in.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, again, let's look at this whole film in once. I'm going to look at you, Patrick. We're not doing rewatch yet, but I mean, did you like how they put in a murderer's trial with a funny kind of Larry David, haha. Here's it's very different doc. What did you think about it?
Definitely, I loved it. Like the close shots, like when you're talking that PA, he had a real emotional shot. There was Larry David. He just gets on camera, starts talking, then he gets off camera. And you're like, that's just Larry David for you. And then the whole time, like, his daughter is testifying, and then you see the defendant sitting at the table, and he's like tearing up. It's for 40 minutes. It packs like 6 years of emotion into it, and you just have to experience it really quick. And it's a dynamite movie.
Rob, this is a different type of doc, as Patrick said. Is it good? Is it bad? Did you like this style? Did it go a little over the top? What do you think?
I still think my biggest problem with this is, like, if I was a good lawyer, I didn't need the Larry David part of this.
Sure.
So I still struggle with that. Like, if I'm a good lawyer, I could have gotten him off on the murder charge without having the whole Larry David angle.
Which, side note, we did mention that the Larry David stuff did not get him off.
Yeah.
It put him at the ball field, I think it was like 25 minutes before, but he only lived 15 minutes away or something like that. He could have been there. But you liked how this documentary was done? Or no? Or you didn't
I've seen a lot better documentaries.
Okay.
I mean, it was a quick hitter. I left it. I turned it off. I was like, all right, cool story, bro. Like, that's it. Like,
Okay. Cool.
Interesting, cool story, but
Okay.
if you were a good lawyer, this would have been a 10-minute movie. Like, hey, here's all this evidence.
Right. You wouldn't need a
Yeah.
you wouldn't need Larry David side.
Without
of things.
Larry Davis, not a documentary.
Sure.
Yeah.
Daniel, looking at you, what do you think, man? This, I mean, as far as docs go, what do you think?
As far as docs go, I like that it was short and really interesting, and kind of, like Patrick said, put a lot into the same, into 40 minutes. It was packed a big punch in 40 minutes.
Compressed.
Very compressed. And I thought the interview with the defendant himself was solid.
Right.
He kind of made you root for him, just the way he answered questions, and he kind of drew you into it. So I was very hooked from the start.
Sure. Adam, docs, we're talking about docs. This is a little different. It's a little weird. It's half a Larry David, it's half a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. What do you think, man? As far as docs go, is it worthwhile? Or?
It struck me on two accords.
Okay.
One accord was like how you already talked about with you felt very emotionally involved in this case.
Sure.
Like at the part where like he's on, like the lawyer goes to, HBO too is like very against piracy and letting their content out early.
Right.
And the lawyer had like, hey, let me see your stuff early before it's even aired.
Touch on that a little bit, just for a second.
I am. Yeah.
No, please go on. Please go on.
Yeah, so like the HBO was first like, hey, there's just some lawyer calling us, wanting to see our film before it releases. I don't know, do we really want to do that? And they asked Larry David, like, hey, are you cool doing this? He's like, yeah, I'm cool doing it. If it helps a guy, let's do it. So that was awesome. And then you got
it kind of helps him out.
But then you got the shot of the accused guy, and he's sitting there and he's describing how. Because this whole thing is set up, he is freaking out, man. He's facing the death penalty for something he didn't do.
Sure.
And the lawyer, like, he calls the lawyer and he's like, hey, man, how'd it go? He's like, you're on the tape. And, like, his face just, like, with that whole scene, like, it was so good.
Right.
And I love it because it's, like, it's very American. I don't know. I felt very American about it.
People
like,
helping people.
People helping people. It's about, like, this guy loves baseball. Baseball, it like helped him like prove his innocence. People helping people. It had a great Americana vibe to it, which I really liked. As far as documentaries go, there's definitely better documentaries out there, but it's a quick movie that makes you feel good emotions.
Right. No, I mean documentaries usually you got a director who writes, this is how we're gonna show the facts, or we're gonna have these characters come in and tell their case. This one's so weird because it has, and I said this before, this is a murder, like trying to find a murderer. So it's a dirty tale, but it has Larry David and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's a funny episode, and they show clips from the episode where he picks up, as Patrick said, the hooker, and or as Adam said, whoever. It's half funny, half, super serious. It's a murder case. And the death penalty's on the line. So your emotions are up or down. 40 minutes is all it took for me to get really involved in it. I thought it was really great. Tell you what, let's Patrick, I'm sending it to you for rewatch and recommend. What do you think, man?
I definitely won't rewatch this. I mean, one viewing is more. It's a heavy 40 minutes to watch.
Somebody who complains about the runtime. He's complaining about 40 minutes. Unbelievable.
40 minutes is a good runtime.
It's a heavy 40.
It's a heavy. You could almost double it to about an 80.
I give it a 120 with how much emotion's in it.
Moving on, go
Insane.
ahead.
But as far as recommending it, yeah, I mean, anybody that wants to see Larry David,
Patrick can't be satisfied.
well, Tank 40.
Okay, moving on. No more Tank 432 talk.
Anyway, yeah, so I'd recommend it, but I wouldn't rewatch it.
Okay, Rob, what about you? Recommend, rewatch? What do you think?
I feel a little bit left out in the cold. I'm a no and no on
Really?
both of them.
Really?
I mean, the only thing that's the saving grace about it is it's only 40 minutes. Like,
Okay.
This is the same as pretty much watching any TV
show.
A TV 30 minutes.
20 for 20.
Yeah.
Basically, it is kind of
Yeah.
like a 20 for 20 episode, honestly.
Yeah.
You're kind of
You
swaying
mean
me.
30 for 30?
Yeah.
No,
The
no.
story of Dodgers
Is it 2020,
baseball.
not 2020?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
this is whatever.
You already took
David
the math
David
into
Muir
account.
acts like he hosts it, but
Yeah.
he doesn't really.
So
That
no
show.
recommend, no rewatch.
I mean, yeah. If I want to say like, oh,
So it'd make it 30
you're a
for
big
30.
Larry David fan, watch the story about how he got someone off for murder.
Sure.
Watch this movie, but no, like nothing.
No, nothing
No-
for you.
nothing.
Daniel, looking at you, rewatch, recommend.
As Adam said, it would make a good 30 for 30, but it
Yeah.
wouldn't. It would be a 30-minute 30 for 30.
Okay.
I wouldn't rewatch it because most of the fun is in the narrative itself.
Sure.
So
It's a one and
there-
done.
Yeah, there's no point to do it. But yeah, if someone's, it's only 40 minutes. So if you want to commit that time to a good story and like you said, feeling good emotions on a documentary, go for it.
Right. Adam, rewatch, recommend. Do you do either?
I will not rewatch, but I will recommend.
Okay.
I think it's like I said, I think the origin of this documentary, like I said before, came from Larry David telling this story to somebody.
Right.
And I would almost rather have a 20-minute Larry David explaining this movie to me, which I don't have at my disposal. But that's what I would rather have.
We can move. We can make some phone calls.
Well, maybe we'll tweet him
Sure.
and tell
We
him to
will.
check out this podcast.
Definitely.
Maybe he seems like a pretty cool guy, so maybe he'll retweet us.
Maybe he will.
So it's like it's a cool story that they spruced up to make it into a documentary.
Sure.
So, but it's still a good story.
Yeah.
If you like good stories, like feel good stories, this is right there with them.
Right.
So that's why I give it a recommend, but not a rewatch.
Right. No, I'm on board. I'm on board with you, Adam. This case by itself is, unfortunately, it's just your kind of run-of-the-mill murder case, which it's sad that we got to say that, but it is exciting to watch because it brings in something you don't see mainstream, comedy television shows getting information on a murder. Like they don't play into, murder, investigations like that. So it is pretty interesting. It's heartfelt because the main character is, he's got a daughter, and you're just involved in the characters and the way they shot it. You were invested in the characters, and then with the Larry David, it brings the humor stuff in. So it's definitely worth a watch. Originally, like Daniel said, I don't think you need to watch it again yourself. You know what happens, but I definitely will. Tell people, I'll recommend it to people to watch. As far as that goes, let's bring it down to Liquor Store Aisle, Patrick. What do you got for this one, man?
I was searching my brain for a Curb Your Enthusiasm reference, but I just couldn't find one. So if I had to drink something with this, it had to be something quick and sweet. So probably just like a Jaeger bomb or something.
Yeah,
So,
it's good. It's good and
Yeah.
quick. 40 minutes is done. Rob, what about you? Bring us down to Liquor Store Aisle, my friend.
Yeah, so my cousin got married a couple years ago.
Congratulations
and
to Rob's cousin.
Yeah.
Cool story, bro.
Shout out.
Way to pick up on where I'm going with this. And so her husband, for the wedding, brewed his own batch of homebrew beer.
Oh, wow.
But he only brewed like half a pint. So we all pretty much got like a couple ounces of this homebrew.
Just a sip?
A nice short little sip.
Okay.
And it was kind of like, all right, cool story, bro. Like, cool story on this movie.
Was it good?
I mean, you really you couldn't enjoy it much. It
Yeah,
was just
sometimes beer you got to have like a few sips
Yeah.
before it hits
Sure.
you, and you get your taste
Was it
buds
open?
adjust.
Was it open bar for the rest of the wedding?
funny story. I had to go to the Jewel down the street to buy more beer for the wedding.
You're
Way
the,
to
you
step
are
up,
the
man.
you're the Larry David of that wedding of this movie.
Yeah.
Rob also bought booze for my wedding too.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys need me,
I was there for that.
You
Yeah,
can
that-
find
you did
me
do that.
at Rob at Netflix
I think you did that
Explorers.
Yes,
twice.
Rob. Yes.
I have an email. You can hit me up. I'll buy
Also-
booze for your wedding.
Also, copy Patrick at 1890 Studios. Just kids doesn't get to Rob. Daniel, what about you? Bring us on Liquor Store Aisle, my friend.
I'm in the same vein. There was a shot at Brothers Bar and Grill, I think is what it's called, in Bloomington, where I went to college.
That's Bloomington, Indiana.
Bloomington, Indiana.
Sure.
And they had this shot called Bazooka Joe's.
Oh, great. It's a great
was-
gum. It's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
gum.
It was in like a plastic shot glass, and I don't even think it was full strength alcohol, but it just tasted like bubble gum. It was $2. You just take it and move on.
Right.
Just quick and easy. Just throw it back. Good stuff, but move on.
Good story. Good drink. Adam walks down Liquor Store Aisle.
I give this one a Corona in a can.
Okay.
And when I go to baseball games at Comiskey, they have the beer guys have Coronas in a tall boy can.
Sure.
And that's usually what I drink while I watch baseball, and that's what this movie made me think of. It was just a good, feel good. You're at a baseball game.
Right.
You know, it's just baseball's good. America's good.
Life is good.
This documentary was good. Made in America as well.
Yeah. And I'm on. You must have read my notes, Adam. I just picked any ballpark beer. I mean, you're going to pay $11.50 for just a Coors, but that Coors for some reason just tastes so good. This is just your average. You know, it's just somebody gets off on a murder case. It probably happens every other day. You know, in courtrooms across America. But for some reason, this Coors that I paid this much for at this time tastes so good because of where I'm at. You know, at the ball field and stuff like that. So
I like how Patrick on like movies in the notes you have American Vandal.
And your Netflix review, what is this?
It's a Sunny reference or not a Sunny, a Curb Your Enthusiasm reference.
Or actually the NetEx review, as I inspect.
yeah, we shorten it up for just like this movie. It could have been longer, but it's only 40. We shortened it up.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's it. I mean, that's Long Shot 2017 film. And Rob, last week you called me out because I wasn't doing things in order. We did the drink review. Can we move on to the next film?
Yeah, let's hit the trailer.
Let's go on to the next one. It is The Imposters. And as Rob said, let's play the trailer.
Indie film.
Isn't she beautiful? And here is her brother.
So
We got Handycam film.
Home footage.
Oh, my God.
police, go ahead. We found a kid. It's about 15 years old. June 1994, Nicholas Barclay disappears from Texas.
It gives you nightmares.
So this is all like home film.
No ID, no documents on him. He's very scared. 3 years later, he is found in Spain.
Just gotta go
Mind-boggling.
get him and get him back here where he's safe.
I didn't see how
it
I
won a
could
lot
not
of awards.
document him as a U.S. citizen.
We had no idea what kind of person we were getting. They looked very different.
He disappeared without a trace 3 years ago. Tonight, a San Antonio boy is back home.
When a
A
child
San Antonio boy is back home.
either the child is dead or the child is not found.
He was tortured. I mean, he had torture written all. This kid's really messed up.
There was just something
He is
wrong
really
about
messed
it.
up.
Something was being hidden, and I didn't know what that was.
The FBI is not taking this case lightly.
An astonishing psychological thriller.
He couldn't speak English without an accent.
Maybe he's not Nicholas Barclay.
He cannot be an American.
We didn't need to prove who he was.
This is their family member. I mean, no one would be wrong about something like that.
Wait a minute.
Extraordinary. Something I couldn't read. It's too quick. It's too fast.
This is a very dangerous person.
A story so bizarre, it's hard to believe it's true.
Him.
Language.
In my home, you rascal, you. I'll be glad when you're dead, you rascal, you.
Imposter. The Imposter.
Dude, that song was a jam. Who's that by? Is that
Jack-
Black, is that
sounds
Black
like-
Keys?
It sounded like
White. Jack White.
maybe, or Cage the Elephant.
Cage the Elephant. Dang it. Great.
Is that it?
I don't know. We're going to have to probably go to the Book of Knowledge for that one.
That was a solid
Let's-
trailer, though. I had never seen that trailer. That was well done.
I just checked the radar on the weather. It's going to be pounding like this for the next hour.
So we are at the Northside 1890 Studios. It's quite a storm going on here. So we're going to try to record through it. Maybe if we lose power, we might lose the cast. That would be terrible.
I will never lose each other, guys.
Good. That's what I like to see. This one's 2012 film, a documentary centered on a young man in Spain who claims to a grieving Texas family that he is their 16-year-old son who has been missing for 3 years. 7.5 on IMDb. This is another doc, guys. Adam, you're on the docket. 2 docs for this week.
I am. We've been documentary heavy on the docket lately.
I'm not. Keep
I know
going.
you and me enjoy documentaries.
Sure.
I don't know what you guys all think about them. It sounds like everyone at this table enjoys a good documentary.
Right.
Listeners out there, let us know if you're enjoying these documentaries and giving our reviews on them, or you say, hey, just stick to movies or whatever, But I think those are cool to check out.
Definitely.
This one was weird though, because I'm watching it and I'm like, wait, is this a movie? No, it's
Sure.
a documentary.
Right.
No, it's a movie.
Right.
No, it's a documentary. Like I'm going back and forth in my head.
Well, there's a lot of dramatization. Like they kind of show what's happening.
I have never seen a documentary like that where they
Okay.
have so much good like dramatization to make it feel cinematic.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, you're right. I mean, half the film, one half of the, or maybe more, 2/3 of the film is dramatization. How this imposter, use the titular line, the imposter acts as a lost child from Spain. Very bizarre story as far as it's concerned. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. This one I did like a half Rob. I was doing a fast forward type of watch. Although this one's only 59 minutes, 99 minutes. I apologize. This one was a little bit shorter than last week's. A couple movies were a little longer, but I still had to fast forward. It just, I don't know. It's like you kind of knew what was happening right away. It started off where you knew who the imposter was right away. So it's kind of like, all right, well, get to present day. Fast forward. So I fast forwarded. Patrick.
Disagree.
Okay, all right. Go. Daniel, go ahead. Why did you want to stick around for this one?
Daniel did recommend this movie for the docket, too.
Oh, you
I wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, you can skip me in the recommend rewatchability
Wow.
because I recommended it to Rob.
Okay.
Yeah,
and rewatched it with Rob.
So
and
you
we
also
then recommended it to the documentary.
We also got. I got a recommend.
docket.
I got a
Docket master.
I got a recommendation from Daniel, and I got a recommendation from John Palak.
Shout out to John.
Shout out to John. Both of them recommended this movie, so I was like, okay, we got 2 people recommending one movie. We're doing it.
Yeah.
So, and I was not disappointed.
So, yeah, your thought on what you
well,
said.
I just thought you knew how, like, you knew the guy originally was the imposter.
Yeah, but
I wanted
but the all right. So yeah, exactly. That's all I needed to know. You knew he was the imposter, but
immediately.
How? Yeah, but how does he get from point A to B? How does he become the imposter? And the fact that they had the interview with the imposter himself gives you that progression of what did he have to do to become a French guy living in a shelter in Europe,
in Spain, yeah,
to living in Texas with a family. Like what was the stepwise process? That was the most interesting part to me. Is like what decisions did you have to make to get to that point?
Hey Rob, why don't you describe it a little bit? Set it up for the listeners.
That's what I was going to say. We need way more than this
way
one sentence.
Way more context.
You got a blonde kid from Texas.
So yeah. So here's what happens. You're
blow it up, Rob. I see your gears working.
Yeah,
bust this one wide open.
Bust it open.
Go to town.
Tell it, bring it back.
All right, I'm gonna bust this open. All right,
bring it back.
Just send it, Rob. Send it.
We've got 2 different timelines going on. There's one where it's a family in Texas, and they lose their like 13-year-old son.
Sure,
he's gone, completely missing. They don't know what happened to him. We're now 3 years later, and there's a 23-year-old man who's a French man
Right.
living in Spain.
Different hair color, different eye color.
Different hair color, different eye
race.
color.
He's
different race.
Different accent to his voice.
His dad's Algerian, so he looks Arab.
Yeah, he's
Sure.
a French Algerian living in Spain as a 23-year-old man.
Who's trying to become a 16-year-old,
and he's
17-year-old
like,
boy.
he's the imposter, and he's like, all right, I need to find some shelter, so I'm going to go to a child shelter.
I'm going to act as abused as I possibly can, so people don't mess with me.
Well, no, you're just going to be quiet so you can't hear my voice because it's French
and then
not
and then,
Texan.
And then they go, all right, imposter man, we need to prove your identity or you're going to jail. And he just finds this family in Texas, and he's like, I'll pretend to be their lost son.
Right.
And the documentary is about how he can go through those steps to eventually move in and live with this family in Texas
Right.
as their lost son.
So the sister...
Even though none of the characteristics of this guy
Sure.
and the missing child are the same.
But he does wear multiple scarves and layers and 2 hats, one forward, one backwards.
The sister meets this
sick
kid-
guy.
the-
Sick disguise.
the sister meets him in the airport and goes, well, I saw the gap in his teeth, and I knew it was him. And
That
I went,
was the one characteristic
so
they shared. Yeah.
His black eyebrows didn't give him away?
Yeah. His different colored eyes, his French accent.
Right.
None of these things gave it away.
Right. Although I will say that I watched this one with my wife, and I said, you know what? Adam came back from Australia, I think living with you, Rob.
Yeah.
And for one night,
I dyed his eye colors
Adam
and his
had
hair.
Adam had an Australian accent, and he called me mate twice in one night. And I went, who is this person? Maybe that really happened. So, but still, I could not see how 3 years they became French, changed eye color.
But what's really cool is they interviewed the imposter, this guy who's
Right.
a 23-year-old,
Sure.
pretending to be a 16-year-old kid.
Right.
They also interviewed the family who he ends up living with.
They take him in, just no problems at all.
They covered all their bases in the interview. They know, like, they have the family.
The mom, the sisters, the brother-in-laws.
Here's what the whole family is thinking. Like,
Right.
They know, like, all right, I guess his eyes are different. Like, all right, we'll just avoid addressing that. He doesn't know what house he's in. All right, like, here's his bedroom. We'll help teach him that.
Right.
And they interview the imposter.
He doesn't know any aunts and uncles or anything like that.
Well,
like,
he shrouds himself beautifully because he's all under the cloud of abuse. And no one can imagine what it's like being a sex slave for 3 years.
Sure.
You should clarify, he created this crazy backstory of being a sex slave.
Well, he did, but that's...
He wasn't a real sex
But
slave.
under that umbrella, that gives you a lot of...
leeway.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Not leeway.
Credible deniability or...
Ooh, I could use that.
Well, yeah, that's good.
Leeway also worked.
But either way, I like what Adam
I
said.
thought it was fine.
Okay. No, but that, I mean, it's so true. Like, he looks at his mother for the first time. He's like, oh, yeah, it was my son. It's like, okay, well, I'm not a parent. But, like, I have a dog. If somebody brought, like, a golden dog, like a dog with golden hair, and I was like, well, it could be my dog. You'd know even your dog after 3 years. You'd know your dog.
Yeah,
it like doesn't make sense to me. But what was interesting too is this guy. I hit his Wikipedia page as I was watching this movie because I didn't dare watch the whole thing all the way through because I just was. This guy was such a evil creep.
Yeah,
evil is the best word I can describe.
That was what was fascinating about it.
It was fascinating, but it's
a
something
psychological thriller. It's like this guy's semi-genius,
So-
but it's like, how did this actually happen?
I looked at his Wikipedia page. This dude he's been doing this for decades.
The serial impersonator of abused children.
Serial
basically.
imposter.
Wait,
Serial imposter.
So time out. Did you do the Wikipedia page before the end of the film?
Yes, during the film.
See, that's
Oh no! I wanted this to end right away because I thought this is just me watching this one. I did not like the character. I hated that this family is grieving for their lost child over 3 years. He comes back and they wait. What?
So you even said your dog Indy goes missing.
Right.
3 years later, they say we found Indy in France or in Spain.
In Spain, sure.
And Indy comes back, and you're like, no, this isn't Indy.
Yeah.
But that family believed quotation marks.
Sure.
I'm doing it. You can see it on the live feed.
Right.
I'm doing it.
Look at him go, everybody.
how did that family still believe that this was their
Did they need to fill that hole that the son left, and they just were going to choose a black-haired, different eye-colored, different accented child who was 5 or 6 years older in real life than their son?
No, it's different. It's a different setup. I think you're not
appreciating.
You got to understand the mindset. It was the sister who went over there and
met him at the airport
and validated him. So it's not like, Dale, hey, we found Indy, come to Spain, check him out. It's, Dale, we found your dog. Okay, your wife's now going to go to Spain and look at it. Yeah, it's Indy.
I don't know.
That changes your perspective.
Think about this.
Would Dale still not recognize Indy?
No. It's not my wife. My wife's known Indy for just 4 or 5 years, but you're a sister. You grew up with this child. There's your brother. You grew up with him.
She gave him the stamp of approval before he even got to the family. That's my point.
So
so that's why I went.
And also, the family may have had other motives, but I won't get too far into that without spoiler.
It is a
Dale doesn't know that's a spoiler.
Oh, yeah. You didn't finish it?
No, I did finish it, but I was fast forwarding to the end. I watched till about, I would say, 3/4 of the way, then I hit play. Because I did the whole when they found him, I started hitting fast forward, and then at the end, it was like once he started to get busted.
Well, there's some
spoiler
some speculation about why the family was so willing to take him in. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, it's a doc. Can we blow a doc? I think
I don't think we should.
I think he played it perfectly.
Okay, then let's stop there. But then what I'm saying, it kind of we'll stop with what I'm saying, because if there's something else to reveal what the family's motives kind of had, we'll just stop there. Then maybe I should have watched it all the way through and I kind of screwed myself. But there's no denying this dude is evil, and Wikipedia shows he's been doing this for like 2.5 decades, 3 decades or something like that. He's only what would he be now? Low 30s, mid 30s?
No,
30? Like
I would think he's at least over 40 by this
Oh,
point.
is he now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he was in his 20s when he did that, and then
True.
Also,
well, again, he was coming back as a 25-year-old, as a 17 or 18-year-old. He went to high school as the kid.
He's got like a beard.
Yeah, he went to high school as a kid. He was talking about how he put chemicals on his face. I think this might have been on the Wikipedia. He put chemicals on his face to get rid of stubble.
Yeah.
Like it would seal his pores or whatever. So he didn't have a beard by 5
well,
o'clock.
He's a serial creep, but he's also a genius on how he pulls it off. That's why it's such an interesting
It's very
film.
bizarre.
How do you stepwise go through all these methods to sell yourself as an abused child when you're an adult and you're not even the same race or
Well, he read the description of the kid he was supposed to impersonate, and it said you had blonde hair, blue eyes. He's like, oh, crap. And he dyes his hair blonde, and they said the kid had tattoos. A 13-year-old kid had tattoos?
Right.
That's what I was like, wait, what? How screwed up is this family? He actually got a tattoo to match the kid's tattoo.
Yeah, from someone in the children's shelter who's like, oh, the resident children's shelter tattoo artist tatted me up on my thumb.
Wow.
Gave me some symbols, and I just made up a story about my eyes being dyed by the people who abused me. It's like, okay. He thought of everything. It was
crazy amount of manipulation this guy had. Patrick, you're being quiet, man. What do you think about this one?
This one I did not see and I did not care for.
Oh, so you're okay. You don't like the idea of it, and you're not even going to rob it and throw some questions at it?
No, I just didn't manage my time efficiently today, and I just.
So you did not see, but you don't know whether you cared for it.
No, I don't think I care for it.
Okay. Well, good enough.
Do you care for it now? Is anything about this interesting?
Yeah. Are we pushing it on you a little bit?
No, I've seen enough documentaries over a couple of weeks going in. I don't think I want to watch another one where a family has to take in a Frenchman. I mean, that sounds terrible. It sounds more like a horror movie than
It's a very bizarre one.
It's October.
It's dude, I thought
this is more spooky than the one we deemed was spooky for October.
Well, we got Stranger Things coming up later, but I honestly think this one could be the scariest one of all. The fact that a family, and I must have fast forwarded through this one. Why the family accepts this child? That's something I didn't watch into. So I'm already kind of want to revisit just like the center chunk of this film I fast forwarded through.
Well, you said you watched this with Julie?
Yes.
I watched this with Jenna.
Okay.
And she loves criminal stuff like this, you know. And the whole time we're figuring out, like, we're trying to justify the family's motives, and we're trying to justify, like, well, you know, kids do change. Like 14-year-olds in 3 years, you might not recognize them.
Well, and as I said, you were gone for 6 months in Australia.
Yeah, but I mean, kids from 14 to 17, you go through puberty, you got a lot of changes.
Right,
you know,
right.
So a lot of, like, it could be different, but man, you should know your own kids. So that was kind of the interest of us the whole time.
Sure.
Like, how could you not know this was your kid?
Right.
And man, this guy's an evil bastard.
Oh,
Like,
evil is the best way to describe this dude. Is just evil on all accounts.
And on the opposite end, we have to give a quick shout out to the Colonel Sanders private investigator guy.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was like the highlight.
I
of his
swear
life.
he's a Hollywood actor. He's been in movies.
Oh my gosh,
he's a classic Colonel Sanders.
dude, that's why I was confused. I'm like, wait, is this a documentary? Because
No.
it's so well done, and the characters are so like.
You know who he is? He's the guy in The Big Lebowski when he goes and sits down in front of, I mean, the other Mr. Lebowski who's in a wheelchair. He's the exact same actor. Look it up. I'm serious. For those who've watched The Big Lebowski, he is the old Mr. Lebowski. You know, Lebowski's kids or whatever he is. But check it out. He's the same actor. I would almost guarantee it.
So you know the imposter is married with 3 kids now, too.
Yeah, and apparently, and I looked at his wiki, he said he stopped his imposter-isms once he got married. Another thing is, you're going to get married to this guy who's got like who's been an imposter? Like, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to go into that, but the dude's just evil on all fronts. I'd say,
and getting to be able to interview him for the documentary
And
was
that
really
was
cool.
I
crucial,
think he acted in the dramatizations. Or
No,
did he not?
no,
Oh, he didn't? Okay.
It was a different guy. But the fact that they were able to interview him and like the
He's
entire
so-
family,
he's so
it would have been
open.
an interesting story no matter what. But the
Yeah.
fact that he was like told him
He's-
everything,
yeah.
I
like,
agree. That made it. Man.
He tells you everything you need to know.
Right.
that he was
He's
thinking
wide
at each
open.
point. At each point, like what is going on in
Right.
his mind? It,
So
he
yeah,
made it great.
He had chances to run, but
Yeah.
he's like, you know what? I'm going to dye my hair, so it's blonde.
Yeah.
He could have just bailed.
I'm gonna get this tattoo. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna act like this.
Sure.
He had a chance to go to America,
Yeah.
and he was not gonna
pass that up.
He was not gonna pass it up.
He was,
And it's like
it's crazy.
At some points, it's like, all right, I was between A or B. A was jail, and B was move to Texas and live with this random family. And I chose B.
Right.
And it's like you just see the series of progression in his decision making, and he's fully
Right.
transparent
How-
with everything he's doing.
How deep does the lie go? He's just going all in.
Yeah, he went he full sended that.
Even to
line.
the fact, even to the fact for the FBI,
Yeah.
the FBI interviewed him because they want to know about child sex rings and how they can prevent
He
it.
freaked the FBI out.
Yeah.
He
They were
freaked
like,
the
this,
FBI
yeah,
out.
they're like, we haven't heard anything this crazy ever.
Right.
He was like, the military is raping me and dyeing my eyes and
They
dyeing
even-
my hair and
They
like-
even interviewed the FBI agent, and she was like, "Well, I didn't know." I'm like, "This FBI agent is the dumbest piece of like."
Yeah, it's a wild one. I mean, again, he was too evil for me to pay attention to the whole time. I was like, I don't even want to know how this guy, but now I do after talking about it. I want to watch the middle of it. But I fast forwarded because I'm like, this guy is such a scumbag on so many levels. He destroys his, I mean, he gives this family hope and then, spoiler alert, tears it away from them. You know what I mean? But but why? That's something I didn't watch. Why did they accept him? Blah blah blah. That's a whole nother twist. But tell you what, guys, let's go ahead and go through. Unless you guys got anything to touch on, let's talk about rewatch and recommend for this one, Imposter 2012 film. All right, Patrick, you didn't watch this one, but what we said, do you want to watch
No.
it? You don't want to watch it.
No. I
Okay.
want to move on.
You want to move on. All right. Rob, looking at you, rewatch or recommend. This is Imposter.
Yeah, that's a mistake, Patrick. I would rewatch. So Daniel rewatched it with me. I will rewatch it with someone else.
Okay.
And I will also recommend this. I have already recommended this to people at work, to people in a social setting.
Okay.
I will recommend this movie. Great movie. Interesting story. definitely.
It does both for you.
Yeah.
Daniel, you rewatched it with Rob. Do you recommend this to the masses or just a certain type of people or what?
To the masses.
Okay.
Everyone needs to watch this, and I would rewatch it again just with my friends to see how they react to it. It's just a crazy story, and it's interesting to see how people react to what they're watching.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's creepy film, man. I mean, it's really evil, creepy. Adam, rewatch, recommend. What do you think?
I'll echo the same tune. I would recommend to everybody, but I'd rewatch with the caveat that I want to rewatch it with somebody to get their input on it. I don't think it's worth a rewatch on your own.
Sure. Once you got all the facts, it's a one and done.
Right.
Like I said, I did a fast forward through the middle. I'm definitely going to go back and have to watch this one because I saw how it started and I saw like how it ended, but I want to, kind of see how he came into the family and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I'll tell people to watch it and probably tell them to watch it all the way through, but I want to revisit it myself, so rewatchability is definitely there. But that, of course, leads us to our...
Dude.
Let's bring it down the liquor store aisle.
Thanks.
Patrick, you didn't watch this one. You don't want to recommend this one.
Flag on the play.
Can you bring us down the liquor store aisle on this one?
Going off of what the name is, I just put O'Doul's because it's a non-alcoholic beer.
Dirty.
Boo.
Okay, non-alcoholic. It's just what? Not exciting. Not an exciting beer. Not exciting.
Well, it's an imposter for an alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
You didn't get that? Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I'm there with
I'm
them.
trying to put it together.
I
here.
got it. Yeah.
Well played.
Rob, what about you? Bring us down the liquor store aisle, my friend.
So mine is also a non-alcoholic drink, but it's called ear beer. That's what you get rid of swimmer's ear with.
Oh, okay.
If you watch the documentary, you know that ears have significance. So it's a imposter drink, but it's ear beer.
Okay, all right. Dan, looking at you, brother.
This guy's really detailed, so
Yeah, shouldn't
I'm
know.
going to go with... so it's like you go up to a bar and you order a beer.
Right. I've
And
done
then-
that before.
Yeah, and then the bartender just pours you like a shot of like orange liquid in a petri dish.
Whoa.
Which is a
What's he
vessel,
doing with the petri dish?
Yeah, it's a vessel you're not familiar with. You take it, it's actually pretty good, and you're like, what was that?
This was, blew your mind.
It's like, what was that? It's pretty good. And then he holds up a nondescript bottle. He's like, I don't know, man. So you're like, I enjoyed that, but I still have a lot of questions.
Right.
You just had a moment with that guy.
That's a great...
I have a lot of questions, but I enjoyed it.
Man,
I like it.
That guy's really detailed.
Adam, what about you? Bring us something loose.
I give this one a perfect blend of rum and Coke. I thought this movie was a perfect blend. It had there was some mystery in there. There were some things in there that you wanted to stay tuned. You want to see what happens. There's some emotion in there.
Right.
There's just it's got everything.
Sure.
It's got like you feel the plight of the evil guy who is the imposter.
Sure.
You understand where he's coming from. You understand where the family's coming from. But it's just like it's got everything. It's just a good mix.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I gave it.
What I got written down is this is the buddy that has his home brew. He's got his own home brewery at the house. So you're like, yeah, you kind of know how a home brew is going to go. You know what a beer tastes like. So you're like, yeah, I know what a documentary on a person is like. Yeah, go ahead, pour me one. But it's just crazy and weird. And this guy had it in his, he brewed it in his kitchen, on his actual stove. His wife was all bent out of shape because all the steam's going. He's just throwing the yeast in, and all the stuff's bubbling up, and all this crazy stuff's going on. That's what this is. It's a crazy home brew beer that you think you're going to watch a documentary. You think you're going to have a regular beer, but this is a home brew beer that some whack job, decided to make up. It's a crazy one, and I'll have another. That's it for me. Let's move finally on to the last one. This is Stranger Things. This is a Netflix original from 2016. Before we roll the trailer, it is when a young boy disappears, his mother, a police chief, and his friends must confront terrifying forces in order to get him back. 8.9 IMDb. Patrick, roll the trailer. So it is set in the kind of, what would you guys say, mid-'80s, kind of late 80s kind of
Takes
feel?
place in Indiana.
Yeah, it's in a fictional town in Indiana.
I know the worst thing that's ever happened here in the 4 years I've been working here. It was when an owl attacked Eleanor Gillespie's head because it thought that her hair was a nest. 99 out of 100 times, kid goes missing. The kid is with a parent or a relative.
Or an
What about the
imposter.
other time? What? You said 99
Full
out of
circle.
100. What about the other time? The one.
So, what am I seeing here?
This July.
This July. Netflix presents
I think she knows what happened to him.
Dang, this is so beautiful. This show is so good.
She can't have gone far.
What the hell?
You know Will? Do you know where he is? Hiding. From who?
Maybe Will saw something that he shouldn't have.
Stranger Things.
Woo! Stranger Things, guys. You said it, Adam. I got a little kind of a backstory for Stranger Things. I think it was like the day after it came out. My buddy Josh was over. Shout out to Josh. He's been on the podcast before. It's about 11 o'clock at night. We kind of were finishing up our evening a little bit. Hey, man, the Stranger Things just came out. Let's watch one episode. So it's 11 o'clock. What are they, hour episodes?
Yeah, 8 1-hour episodes.
Okay, so they're 1 hour episodes. We watched one. He's like, man, it's midnight. I'm hitting the road. All right, dude, good to see you. He left at midnight. I played episode 2. Then I played episode 3. Then I played the rest of the episodes. I watched the sun come up. That is Stranger Things. This was a dynamite first season to this film. And actually, we are 2 days in front of, or Dynamite TV show, we are 2 days in front of when the season 2 comes out. Patrick, did you watch this one?
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to like what I have to say about it.
Let's hear it, man. Break it wide open. Stranger Things.
So I pride myself on watching like great TV shows and everything, and this has been out for over a year now, and I just know everybody loves it. Everybody's waiting for season 2. And I got through the first episode. I was like, maybe it's the second episode that kicks it off. And then I finished the second episode, and I'm like, thank God I only have to watch 2 episodes for the cast because this is unbearable for me.
Really? What was your biggest issue with this one?
I just didn't like anything about it.
You didn't like the characters? You didn't like the story? What's the deal?
I think Winona Ryder is like overacting the entire time. I think like that. I can't remember his name, Higgins or Higgs, whoever the sheriff is. I think he just wasn't taking anything seriously. I didn't like that. The whole I know you don't want to show what the big scary monster is in the first 2 episodes, but I mean the only thing they really did was like make some thumping noises and then blow up a phone. And I don't know. I just really didn't like it. If you were going to watch anything, there's always Game of Thrones. There's always Westworld. Hell, I'd even watch Walking Dead over this. So
that's pretty bad.
I thought the sheriff was pretty conscientious. He turned conscientious by the end of episode 2.
I really think this is a season like encompassing idea. I think you really need to be there for the whole thing. The stories.
I mean, at first he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna brush my teeth and then put in a cigarette and then drink beer and not care." But then like by the end of season 2, he was already like, "Oh, this is serious. I'm gonna get my ass into gear." Basically,
that's what I kind of think too. The characters do grow and do progress. Because I'm kind of on board. Originally, you did a two episode. That's all you watched?
Correct.
Okay. So there was the kids involved, and as we've talked about on the NetEx, child actors are very polarizing. They can dominate a film, they can ruin a film, and I think in this one they were just being kids, and if you stick around long enough, I really think they kind of pay off. And that may be the same case for the both Winona
Ryder.
Yeah. And the sheriff. I think they both they start off rough and they kind of pay off. I don't know. I'm not going to fight you right off the bat.
Well, no, because I was watching this, and then I think earlier this month, or maybe it was last month, the Stephen King It movie came out.
Sure.
And I know Stranger Things is supposed to have a lot of callbacks to, or Stranger Things is supposed to have a lot of callbacks to Stephen King books, movies, like that whole. You know, remember what was it, Turbo Boy, where it had that big like callback to anything 70s, anything 80s,
yeah,
like
80s,
that.
yeah.
And the music is just like your border, like basic 16-bit music on. The, so I mean, there was nothing stood out for me. So it was just brutal.
Before I pass it off to Rob, no, you're exactly right. This is a genre specific film.
The new noir.
It is. I wouldn't call it a new noir, but a neo noir. No, I would. It definitely is in its own genre. It calls back to the mid '80s. It calls back to those the Stephen King's of style films of the mid '80s. But it has that feel. But either way, it's a different strokes, different folks. Rob, Stranger Things. Did you watch the whole series, or you watched 1 and 2?
So I watched a couple episodes with a girl I was talking to at the time.
Rob getting it in on the Stranger Things.
Yeah. It was going to be like our show, and then things didn't work out.
Things are going to get deep.
So
things are going to get deep.
I ended up watching the first 2 episodes with Daniel.
You know what?
That's who you're talking about?
She doesn't deserve you.
Yeah.
I deserve Rob.
Yeah.
I definitely deserve Rob.
Good self-awareness.
You want to watch some of the Stranger Things? Come on down.
Is that what your voice was?
So when
What's
you guys,
up, girl?
Yeah.
You want to watch some Stranger Things?
I wish I was Barry White.
I'm a podcaster, girl.
That's a good way to get him. Hey, I'm just saying. But go ahead.
Yeah. Hit me with a Barry White.
Oh, you know I got that.
So
go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. So I was a little bit leery to get back into this. I watched the first 2 episodes with Daniel. I will admit I enjoyed the first 2 episodes more this time, watching them full on, getting my interest peaked. But at the same time, I don't have any desire to go into
keep
episode 3.
Sure. And the next series is coming out in 2 days, so you don't want to go into the second season.
I mean, when we watched them last night, I was like, all right, this show's actually like better than I thought. But I went back into my room to like go to bed.
Right.
I normally watch a movie when I go to bed.
Sure. It's not going to be Stranger Things.
I didn't choose Stranger Things.
Okay.
I was just watching.
Not on board with it.
Just watching Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Like that's got me going.
What
way
I got?
more.
Daniel, looking at you, man. You watched this? Did you watch the whole season, or did you watch just 1 or 2?
Yeah, I watched the whole season, and then episodes 1 and 2 with Rob for the.
Did you watch the whole season for the cast, or did you just watch it?
No, I watched it. Yeah, on my own accord, like several months ago. Yeah, I liked it. I agree with you guys. I wasn't here for the original conversation about child actors, but these actors actually portray regular kids. They don't overact. Like what I compare it to is they don't ruin it. Like if you guys ever watched the Harry Potter films, the Ron Weasley actor was terrible in like the second and third one. Like whenever he was young, he ended up being okay at the end, but he was awful for a while, and it just like ruined everything. But these kids actually like realistically portray
friendship among
kids, and they act semi-natural. So like they do a good job, and that kind of sells it. Especially the 11 character, and then the kid with the hat and the lisp.
Right. Yeah,
shout out to him.
It's definitely child actor driven. So if you're turned off by that, or you don't like how they act, although I think they did a great job, it could definitely ruin it because they are main characters.
Right, and and these kids don't ruin it. So they stay out of the way and actually like kind of build it up because they're pretty good actors for being like 10 years old or whatever they are. So
exactly. Adam, Stranger Things.
Oh man, I got a lot to say, so just cut me off if I get long-winded.
Start from the top, man.
So I watched this show a long time ago when it first came out with Jenna. We did the same thing you did. Pretty much watched the whole thing in one night because we want to know. You want to know what happens the whole time.
Sure.
You want to know, and then there's about a dozen characters, maybe a little less than that.
Maybe less, yeah.
Between 3/4 dozen characters, let's say, and it's all about their journey to realizing something is going on that we don't understand. That's stranger. It's not just a mundane thing.
Right.
This is an important thing. So I think the whole show is about how those characters come to that point.
Normal characters dealing with stranger things.
Yes.
To titular line.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about. We talk about the sheriff. We talk about they're just regular old kids, but they're involved in this.
But for me, it's got everything. I mean, number one,
society defying.
Oh, absolutely.
To a T.
Yeah.
You got that going. You got a little 80s feel in there, which is kind of a cool gimmick. It's not the whole show. They got creepy 80s kind of music going on.
Rotary dial phones, all that good stuff.
Very synth music, as Patrick didn't like. He said 8 or 16-bit synthy music, but that, it was kind of Turbo Kid-esque, theme music. But
you want to keep hitting the next episode because you want to know what happens at the end. It's very captivating. It's very good. And I watched it, like I said, I'm getting into rewatchability, but I watched it a year ago, and then I watched it again for the cast. I was like, all right, I'm just going to play some FIFA. I'm going to turn it on my iPad, and I'm going to have it on. And before I knew it last night, I was 7 episodes in.
Sure.
I almost rewatched the whole thing last night.
Just
because watching it the second time, I think I even like it more than the first time. The first time, I kind of see what you're saying, Patrick. It's like, okay, it's okay. It's not that cool. It's got a gimmick. But the second time you watch it, you really appreciate all the new. Like, what I appreciated the second time, probably because I was playing FIFA, there's more audio, I really appreciated the score.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the same episode, in like about a 10-minute span, you have that song, it's like, what's that song called? Where it's like, remember what the doorman said. Like, feed your head. You know that song?
Oh, yeah.
I was looking at Daniel. I'm like, Daniel, you got it.
I got this.
If somebody put their
but they start that song
Zombie.
But that that song starts out really slow in the scene.
Yeah.
Like in the scene, it's just 11 and the guy that finds her kind of talking. And it's very calm, and that song starts, and it's just like, and the creepy
and the man is in the corner.
And then something crazy happens in that scene, and as that happens, the chorus of the song
driving and
it comes up. It was perfectly timed for
a crescendo,
that song.
Yanni.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, it was a crescendo, and so it was just that builds perfectly. And I was like, oh man, that is awesome. And then 2 scenes later, they're playing Rains in Africa. So they're throwing back songs, they're bringing in new songs. You got some 80s vibes on it. The score is listening to it more audioly. The score is top notch.
And the Rains in Africa, they led into where
that's
it's
Toto, by the way.
Pouring rain in the spooky house where the whatever creature captured, So yeah, they led into the rains in not Africa, but in Hawkins, Indiana.
Right.
But
which I had to Google just to see where
it's not. It's not a real thing.
It's not a real thing. We do cast in Indiana.
I actually looked it up. They filmed it in Georgia.
Right. So
but it did kind of look like Indiana. It sold it to me. I'm from Indiana.
Sure, as am I. As we
but I'm
all
from
are.
Southern Indiana. You
Definitely
guys, Chicagoland
region.
Chicago, Indiana.
Chicago in the house.
Chicagoland. It doesn't count for what this is trying to portray.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but like on Adam said, it brings in all these different things. I think also too visually, it's a great look at, especially for a TV show. Now, Netflix has been rocking and rolling with their Netflix originals, and this does not take anything away. It's beautifully shot. I just think it's so tough to create such, I don't know, mystery and it just looks so, I don't know, it draws you in. I don't know, Patrick, what do you think, man? Am I just blowing smoke? Does it not look that good to you?
I don't know if it's just that it's slow developing show.
It's very slow.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well, they got a lot of characters to bring up to speed.
Well,
watch 3 and 4. and then get back
That's
to
what I
it.
was gonna ask. Like, tell me about the characters. Like, who
he wasn't in.
we lost it. We're not spoiling episodes 1 and 2.
No.
I don't think so. When in 2 days the next
Yeah.
season's coming out.
A kid goes missing. Do we care about his mom? Do we care about the friends? Do we?
Well, that's
what do we care about? And then a kid pops up. Do we care about her story?
Right.
Which story are we trying to develop in episodes?
Dude, it's got
and when I talked about
it's
the
got
good
the
kid
MK
actors,
Ultra vibes, man.
Yeah.
Like,
the good kid actors, the 11 actress is amazing. Like, she's really good.
Yeah, for sure.
She's had like 3 lines through the first.
Yeah,
2
but
episodes.
she's still
2 episodes.
But like the physical acting is all there.
Well, and then but another thing too, I'm going to give Patrick a little leeway on this one because they're doing a lot of background. They're doing a lot of family, like how the family works together. Because there's a sister that is a little older than like the main character and all his friends, and how her plight goes. In 2 episodes, Patrick, I really don't think you can hit it all.
well, by episode 6, all the characters are on board that something crazy is going on, and we need to figure this out.
The backstory's covered in 6 episodes, and now we're all moving forward.
That is a long time. In his defense, that's a long time to get to a backstory.
Yeah. To clarify,
But,
like the cops, the whole town is on board at 6 episodes. Because in episodes 1 and 2, like not everyone's on board.
It's still developing.
It's just Winona Ryder is like shit's crazy right now.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
so
can I point out
at
the,
episode 6, everyone's on board.
That's kind of what I
We're
got.
driving towards that main goal at episode 6,
So
I'd say.
You can cut it if you want, but is there like a huge cliffhanger for this at the end of season 1?
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't say cliffhanger. I mean, we don't know.
There's just no resolution.
Exactly. The resolution is we're about to. I don't think we're. No. We understand what needs to happen. It's not a cliffhanger. You're right, but it's every character in the first season is now pretty much on board to. We don't know what we need to do, but we're all on board with we have to do it together. And so that's I think what the first season's about. Is you got the kids, you got like some older sisters and some other characters. You got the sheriff and like what he has to do, and you got what's going on. It finally all comes to fruition into the next season. So there's not a cliffhanger, but it's just something needs to happen in the second season, and we're all on board to see what it is. So
see, that's what drives me crazy, because like when we talk about Game of Thrones and you won't watch Game of Thrones,
no,
it's because like what, you don't know what the resolution is.
No,
like,
it's just not on Netflix. So
it's not on. Well, if it was on Netflix,
no, I would watch it if it was on Netflix.
It just drives me crazy because like nothing's happening in these first 2 episodes, so I'm really upset with that. It's just backstory, very little plot advancement.
Yeah, story growth, right?
But then there's other shows out there that I could be watching, like Westworld, Game of Thrones. Like there's better shows.
By 2 hours in, these are hour episodes. Like I'm agreeing with you, Patrick. 2 hours in, you should know where you're going. They're still developing characters.
Yeah, but when you look at Game of Thrones, 1 hour in, you already know like, oh crap, this is what's happening.
Right.
You
Right.
get
This
two
guy
hours,
got pushed off a cliff.
Yeah,
Right.
2 hours of Westworld, you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then I get 2 hours of this, and it's just
half
kids
the
playing-
characters are developed. Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
what you're
kids
saying.
are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then there's foreshadowing. Then there's another girl, and then there's more foreshadowing, and there's just no resolution for.
I think it's different film styles. I think in one style, in Stranger Things, you know what's going on. You as the viewer know what's going on. You're watching everybody else figure it out. So that's a different kind of angst. Game of Thrones, you have no idea what's going on as a viewer, but the characters know what's going on. You know, so it's a different kind of angst. And I've kind of been thinking about this. I don't know which angst I prefer. It's almost they're both can be done well in their own way,
Right.
but it's just a different kind of setup.
One, you're hanging on to the story. One, you're hanging on to the characters, no matter what the story is.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And I think that's why maybe you didn't get past the second episode or whatever, for whatever reason. If you're not going to follow some kids and their crazy mom and a weird sheriff, you're not going to keep going. But if you kind of like think about, man, how is the story going to progress? And you look at it regardless of characters and you just want to see the story go, maybe that's something you want to hang on to.
Well, no, because I went to the theaters. I've already seen it a few times, and each time I watch it, I'm like, well, this is what I'm going. There's children acting, and this is what's going to happen. I know the first time that I watched it, I was like, all right, well, this is what I'm expecting, and then we'll have resolution, we'll have this and that, but it's just not resolving anything, and the questions that they're posing seem like it's all just like a big conspiracy, a big cover-up.
Right.
And it's just like, it seems like I already know where it's going, and I don't want to go down that path with the show. So it's it's not that I don't want to follow these children into the underworld or whatever, but it's like whatever.
Yeah, the story just doesn't keep me on board. Okay, that's fine. And
I have something to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Steve Harrington character,
who's that?
Suave guy dating the main character's older sister, or trying to.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Who acted like that in high school? Like, who is that confident with girls in high school? And also, have you seen him in the Domino's commercial? He plays the same character. He's like, oh, check me out. I got this on the pizza tracker. I'm going to open the door, and my pizza's here right now.
Wow.
So, like, that was the only part that, like, really annoyed me, is, like, no one is, like, this suave and confident with girls in high school.
I think it's just over the top.
It's way over the top. Like,
you just needed a all around douchebag.
Just a total tool. Like in high school, it's like, hey, like, come over to my parents' house. Like, I'm gonna act like we're studying, then I'm gonna get in your shirt.
Right. Yeah.
Sure. Not your pants.
Right.
So I'm classy.
Yeah, I think they try to sit.
I'm gonna start with the shirt.
Yeah.
I think like oh, we're gonna make it take place in the 80s, so that could happen.
Right.
But it's still. Yeah, it's a little far-fetched.
But have you seen the Domino's commercial? He does the same exact thing.
It's
He's
making
like,
me hungry,
look at this
though.
Domino's tracker. Delivery guy's coming. Opens the door. He's there. He's like as smug as he is in the show.
He's living
He's
on
like
those,
he's so smug in both things. I'm like,
he's living on that Stranger Things dollar. Can we
he
blame
really
him?
is. Like, I guess shout out to him.
But I mean, but listen, this got an 8.9 on IMDb. Rob, looking at you, 8.9. We've watched a lot of films. You've been on the cast a handful of times. 8.9? Is it there for you?
I mean, honestly, it's got to be. I may have to watch it out to give it a fair rating.
How far are you in? Did you just do 2 episodes for this one?
I think we did 4.
Okay, you did 4. Are you interested in pursuing the rest of them?
He only watched 2 with me.
Yeah.
His love interest wasn't as fun. Apparently.
Okay.
From what he said earlier.
Okay. All right. So what? Are you going to keep going on this one, or is it just?
I mean,
do you need someone there to hold you?
I'm still waiting for the sell.
Okay.
Like
waiting for the send.
Yeah.
Okay. You're waiting for the send.
Can you
shout out to Sendy P out there? Good. He's a listener of the podcast. Big fan.
Yep.
What's up, Sendy P? Not going to watch it.
Can you sell me on why I should watch it? Like,
no.
What I'm still curious about is like, how can they get you hooked for a season 2?
Here's what I'm going to. I'm going to be in its corner. I guess is I love the style of this type of genre. Okay, so that just sits as it is. But really, are you going to get behind these kids, these child actors, which we've talked about? It's tough. If they're not good actors, you're done. Your head is out of it. Are you here for the story? Because it could be supernatural. Maybe. We saw the trailer. Maybe it's supernatural. Is that going to keep you involved? Maybe. Our kids? Maybe. For me, I want to see the kids' story progress. I want to see the supernatural because I'm excited to see what it is. But that's all up to you. That's all up to the viewer. I think it's very polarizing. Patrick said
what are the kids trying to find out? That's what I don't understand. Are they trying
what
to
happened
find
to their friend?
No, but they've also got this random 11 girl that they're trying to find out
well,
her
she
story.
pointed out that like, hey,
something's
I
going
recognize this guy.
Yeah,
they think it's linked, so they're trying to figure out what's happening with both of them.
So do you help out your new random chick named 11 who doesn't talk, or do you help try to find your friend? Are you doing
both?
Both
are connected.
Do you think you're doing both?
Both are connected. Shouldn't have not.
I think if you don't, I think
helping out 11 may lead to your friend.
Let's just think. I just think if you don't see like the young characters like friendship and their goal, if you don't think that's worth seeing how it ends, I mean, hey, it might not be for you. I don't know, Patrick, am I right? If you don't like the characters right off the bat, why would you follow them through, right?
Well, I watched it, one, because it was on the docket, and two, everybody gives it such high praise. I mean, 8.9 on IMDb
That's
is
huge.
insane.
Can I tell you what 8.9 on IMDb puts this show?
Below Westworld, below Game of Thrones,
below Shawshank
Breaking
Redemption.
Bad.
38th best TV show of all time, according to IMDb.
What's number 37?
TVF Pictures. Arrested Development's number 36.
Okay. This is not Arrested Development.
Exactly. On this scale,
This is way down.
I have a tough time putting this show in the top 100, to be honest.
Okay. Tell us why, because I'll fight you right now.
I mean, it's good. I mean, it's like an entertaining show. I love it. But, I mean, top 100 show of all time, I mean, that's a... I don't know. That's for me. I don't know why, but on the surface, that's a tough pill for me to swallow. I mean it's above Seinfeld, for Christ's sake. Seinfeld's at 41.
That I agree with you. That's a little too much.
I mean, like
Seinfeld is an American institution.
Exactly. Let me scroll down to the 90s.
Well, here, keep looking, Daniel. I'm going to look at you. Does this one? Well, it hits you like a freight train. Does this one? Does it rock you like a freight train? Is it the storyline? Does it really keep you involved, or are you just there just because it's a new thing on Netflix and it's kind of exciting? Or do the characters? Do you love the story? Do you love the characters? Tell me, why would you keep watching this one? Are you going to watch season 2?
Yeah, I like the actors, and I probably will watch season 2. But I was actually talking about this with my coworkers and boss the other day, and he was like, "I don't know why everyone's so into this." I'm like, "I'm sort of with you. I liked it. Like, I liked it enough to watch it. I will watch season 2.
You did the whole first season?
I did the whole first season. I'm not obsessed with it, but I liked it enough to keep watching it. So that's saying something.
Yeah, no.
It's not like one of my favorite shows I've ever watched, but I like it enough to continue watching.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think it's hard. It's only got one season, so it's hard to judge it on its entirety. Right. But I'm looking at the IMDb. Okay, number 96 is Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's out of the top 100.
Mystery Science Theater, different strokes, different folks.
All right.
And I think that's the same thing for Stranger Things. It's got a certain genre. You're working with children actors, which a lot of people don't like. It's a super spoiler alert, maybe supernatural story. We'll see. Maybe, it's polarizing, I think. It cuts a lot of people out. This isn't just an episode of Friends where you can kind of identify with half the people. You're not with this one. It's a totally different story.
All right. So season 2 drops when?
2 days from
Friday.
now. October 27th.
October 27th.
Yeah.
October 27th. Are you guys going to be sitting at your laptops on your iPads turning into season 2?
What day will that be? That'll be a Friday?
It'll be a Friday, yeah.
Maybe I
This
will.
comes out on
But here's the
Wednesday,
thing. I'm not
Thursday,
setting my
Friday.
alarm to watch. No, I'm going to go with it. I'm not setting an alarm to watch it. I don't think maybe I will. No, you're right. That it doesn't rock me enough to set an alarm to watch it at the exact time.
I'll watch it when I get around to it.
Yeah.
Like when my previous show ends, I'll be like, all right, let's start up on this.
No, and in no
I'll
way
watch
am
it, but
I-
I'm not going to be like dying to watch it.
I won't defend its IMDb top 100 rating. I won't bash Patrick for not going past season or episode 2. But I do think this is a different style of show that, Netflix did a great job in producing. It's worth a watch. It may not be, it's not Seinfeld to me is in one of the top 5 personally shows I've ever watched. It's
You want to play a game? You want to guess the top 5 shows of all time?
Yeah, we got plenty of time. All right, I'm going to go through mine. Number 1 show.
No, just I want you guys to guess the top 5 on IMDb. We'll go around.
TV shows?
Everyone gets one guess, and then
What's within the top 5?
Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, number 5.
Okay.
Planet Earth.
Planet Earth, number 3.
Simpsons?
Nope.
Ooh.
House of Cards.
Nope.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, number 4.
Mad Men.
Nope. Mad Men's not even in the top 100.
Lost.
Not in the top 100?
Let's do a Lost podcast. What do you guys got?
So we need number 1 and number 2.
You need number 1, number 2.
Is number 1 like something like 60 Minutes?
Twilight Zone.
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah, is it
2020?
No.
Saturday Night Live.
No.
All right, I'm out of guesses. Give us the top 5 TV shows on IMDb.
All right, well, you got 5, Breaking Bad, 4, Game of Thrones, 3, Planet Earth, Number 2, Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1, this is kind of a trick. It's Planet Earth 2.
Oh, Jebediah.
Yeah.
What?
That's
Okay.
not like 6
Dang
minutes.
it, Dale.
Well, it's not a. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dang it, Dale.
But yeah, Band of Brothers number 2, man. It was a good show, man.
Yeah, it was very
Solid.
good.
Solid show.
Well, tell you what, we've talked.
2 of those top 5 are HBO originals.
Well, going off of that,
Nice work, HBO.
your top Netflix original TV show is
House of Cards.
Yeah.
House of Cards, yeah.
House of Cards. Going well.
Next one, What Hot American Summer?
No, I think the next one for you would be Narcos.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm a big fan of Narcos. Narcos cracked the top one. I saw it was like 49 on IMDb.
Yeah, and then do you put Stranger Things at 3?
Oh, that's a good
Throwing
question.
In Arrested
I
Development
have
season 4.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Arrested Development season 4 was garbage.
Yeah.
You say that now, but in 5 years we might all like it.
No, no, it's garbage. No,
Terrible.
it's garbage. Yes. We'll tell you what. We've talked enough about Stranger Things. Let's rock it through rewatch and recommend. Patrick, I can guess yours. Go ahead.
It's hard for me. You know, if I wanted to, I can't recommend it because I haven't watched it, and I'm struggling with the watchability of it because there's another 6 hours for me to watch of it, and I got a busy schedule.
Yeah, and then you get another 8.
Plus season
is it
2.
another 8 season for season 2? Do we know? 8.
No idea.
I would
Okay,
assume.
so you got
I would
another
assume
8
they would
hours.
Keep it to 8. Yeah, and if I could get through season 1, I'd probably end up going through season 2. So I might give it the watchability for myself, but I can't personally recommend it.
You
to
wouldn't tell
anybody.
anybody to do it. Rob, what about you? Rewatch, recommend, brother.
I'm at a no as well right now. I can't see myself clicking to watch the next episode.
Okay.
Unless you guys give me a big hit.
Okay.
Or season 2 is really
I mean,
season 2 moves it above Seinfeld for me.
I'm telling. Wow.
Or Planet Earth number 2.
I'd never say that, but I'd say watch
9-5. Planet
Yeah.
Earth number 2, 9-5.
Daniel, looking at you, rewatch, recommend, man.
Yeah, I'm going to continue watching, and I would recommend to the right people if they're like, I heard this was cool. It's like, yeah, check it out.
Okay.
But I'm not going to I'm not going to shout it through the streets like anyone who
Shout it
hasn't
from the
watched this.
mountaintops?
Yeah, I'm not going to be like, but if anyone
Okay.
asks me, I'll be like,
Stranger
yeah, go
Things
ahead.
will save your soul.
Yeah, I won't do that.
Okay. Adam, looking at you, man. You've almost watched it twice in a row.
Yep.
So what's your rewatch recommend?
Rewatch, I didn't think about it before until I rewatched it, but rewatch is very high. I
Okay.
think I almost like it the second time through than I did the first time through.
I agree with you, my friend.
Because kind of the angst is all out of the way, so now you can kind of really enjoy the filmmaking and you
Right.
can enjoy everything. But I'm sorry to say this in front of Rob. I don't want to make you.
Put him on the spot.
I don't want to hurt you, but I will watch the second season because
Get 'em.
I recommend it. I will watch the second season because me and Jenna watched it together, so it was kind of our thing.
Right.
Didn't pan out for Rob, unfortunately, but
And you got married now.
and I got married, so now like Halloween weekend, we're gonna go out to a party probably Saturday, and then we're gonna watch Stranger Things on Sunday. So
Sure.
it's a good vibe for us.
Worth a rewatch, and
Yeah.
you're going to tell others
Yeah.
to watch.
What
it.
about you, Dale?
I'm on the same. I mean, well, I'm not on the absolute same. I didn't get married because of Stranger Things, but no, it's super. I love the story. I love what the plot is after. I love the idea of it. I love that genre of that mid '80s kind of. Think what you want to think about Stephen King. It's different and it's cool. I like where it's at. So I'm gonna definitely rewatch it if I could, and go into the second season. And I'm gonna recommend everyone do the same. That's it for me. Let's say, Patrick, bring it down the liquor store aisle if you can, man.
Well, growing up, cosmopolitans were all the rage, and when I finally turned to age, I ordered a Cosmopolitan. It was a big letdown, so I give it a Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
Terrible decision.
Wow. All right, Rob, looking at you. Bring us down the liquor store aisle, brother.
Yeah, so I may be stealing some thunder from Daniel, but we went to the Upside Down Bar.
Okay.
The pop-up bar in Chicago that was a Stranger Things themed.
Really?
Yeah.
Very
but
cool. Very
It's pretty
cool.
sweet. It's pretty sweet.
Cool idea.
But my favorite part of the night was going to the bar right next door that was a German bar where we could play Stump, where you just hammer nails into a big piece of wood. That was a lot of fun.
That's
and
great.
I got a Hefeweizen beer there, a German beer,
right?
And you're just hammering nails, drinking beer.
It's like a wheat beer.
I had way more fun doing that than
beer and carpentry.
Than looking up at the ceiling and seeing like tables and chairs on the ceiling at this upside down bar. So I give it the Hefeweizen.
Yeah. There's a wheat beer for you. Daniel, what about you? Bring us to the liquor store aisle.
Yeah, no thunder stolen there, Rob.
Good.
But thanks for being so confident about that.
But I say the same thing.
I gave it a peanut butter stout.
Okay.
Because
never had one, but
yeah,
I'm ready.
it's dark, but it's got like a sweet undertone.
Okay.
You're following these kids' backstories, and they got a little, they're like kind of interesting in their own minds, and you're just like, oh yeah, it's like it's kind of a scary-ish, but not really, and it's got like a little sweet undertone. So I went peanut butter stout.
Okay, cool. Adam, what about you? You got a liquor store review for this one?
Yeah, well, I wasn't happy Rob was here for my rewatch, but I'm happy he's here for my drink recommendation. So a little bittersweet there. So I give this one an absinthe because the first time I ever had an absinthe, I was with Rob in Australia, and we had it, and we were walking down the sidewalk, and we both put our arms out, and Rob's like, hey, put your arms out. It feels like you're flying. And I did, and it was right. And everyone was looking at us like, look at these idiots.
Yeah.
Like, but they didn't get it.
They
weren't in the upside down
that.
world like us. It's just like everyone in this movie, this is what's going on. No, it's not. You're crazy. But you know what? Sometimes crazy can be right. And that's kind of what we were feeling at that moment.
That's a great review, man. No, that's a good idea. I'm kind of, what I got is, I'm not going to lie to you, this is a 211 Steel Reserve.
Oh,
Isn't it 311?
No, it's 211.
No, dude, keep talking.
Let me tell you why. You don't know what you're going to get. You're young. They're young characters. In the movie. You don't know what you're going to get, but you got a lot of it in the fridge. And
when Dale and I were 18, 19, Steel Reserve was all we drank.
Yes, I heard this story. Adam went to a party as a youngster.
I don't know if it was a party, but
anyway,
we got together.
Yeah, they got together, and they're like, "What do you want to drink?" He's like, "Steel Reserve." They're like, "Whoa, like you're hard." He's like, "Yeah, that's all I know how to drink."
This
because I'm like 18. That's what I do.
It's like, dude, it's just a regular beer. It's in a can, just like every other beer. This is a film. It's just a bunch of kids, just like every other movie, every other show, But the more you drink it, the more wild the show gets. Like it keeps going and going, and it's 8 episodes of craziness.
It's just like Lost. You and me drink Steel Reserve and watch Lost.
I think the same drink review will go for Lost in this one. The story progresses in a crazy way. The more you drink this Steel Reserve, the crazier you end up being. But that's how it goes. I mean, it just starts off as just a beer in a can, and it ends up being so much more. And there's a lot of stories to tell about it, I think. So, I don't know. That's what I think about this one. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. That's what I think. But, as Rob says, we got to get off the fence on this one. We got to talk about Movie of the Week. I'm looking at you, Rob. Movie of the Week, man. I mean, well, we got a show, too. We got a Long Shot. We got Imposter. We got Stranger Things. What is your movie of the week?
The Imposter. No doubt. No doubt in my mind.
Okay.
Clean sweep coming up.
You got it, brother. Daniel, looking at you, man, and you're back second week in a row on the cast.
Imposter, let's go.
You got it, Imposter.
I was going to say Stranger Things, but now I feel so much pressure.
Right.
Clean sweep. Clean sweep.
All right, I'll go Imposter.
You want Imposter?
I'm such a sucker for peer pressure.
All right, Patrick, looking at you, man, what is your pick of the week?
Well, I didn't watch Imposter, so I'm going to have to go Long Shot because I didn't like Stranger Things.
Son of a bitch.
Imposter is, I mean, it's definitely its own type of film. Long Shot had me bawling my eyes out, but it was a short one. Didn't bring a lot of weight to it. Stranger Things, though, I've seen twice through. Kind of pulling an Adam. Twice through. I think it's great. I think this one's the showing of the week.
Boo.
That's what I got to say. I'm sorry to break the mold here, guys. But I got to say, thanks a ton for podcasting. Second week in a row. Rob, thanks so much for being on the podcast, brother.
Yeah, it's a long commute, but worth it.
Dude, you're a staple.
Yeah.
We're so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Daniel, second week in a row, dude. Good to see you, man.
Indeed.
Are you happy to be here? Will you be back again?
Can we count on you next week?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. You got it. Patrick, although Stranger Things really rattled your cage and you're mad at everyone, we're happy that you're sitting next to me.
Well, who isn't?
It's not a cast without you, my friend.
Thank you, Dale.
Adam, sitting in your leather chair, high above the rest of us. It's great to have you on the podcast.
I'd like to insert podcast dominance.
As you should.
I'm just like my dog Norm. He takes after me.
You're the dog of the podcast, let's be honest. Guys, we're on Facebook. Search the Netflix Explorers. Follow us, friend us, see when our episodes are coming up, watch them, etc. We're over on iTunes too. If you guys want to subscribe, leave us a rating too. That helps us get seen. We're skyrocketing in Spreaker. It's our hosting site. But if you guys want to get on iTunes and subscribe, that helps us get seen on the Apple side of stuff. So we'd appreciate that. Patrick's got a handful of polls up on our website. That's 1890studios.com. That's 1890studios.com. And we're going to have pictures of all these guys. So you hear our voices, you hear us rapping about all these films. You know, kind of put a face to the voice a little bit. So I just want to say we appreciate you guys listening to you, and we will see you again next week. This concludes our October Scary Films event. So, you know, it's November now. So just everybody cool down a little bit. We're the Netflix Explorers saying so long and adios. Did I miss anything, Rob?
That was solid. Solid.
No, you nailed it.